Welcome back to Jake's 13 Days of Anime. And now we've broken the $1. Broken the $1 threshold of the Indigala's Tokyo Anime Mega Bundle. And now we're on to the games you have to pay $3.50 for. So there's that. And today we have Sickness. A game about murder and gore and blood and guts and swearing and crazy people and violence and bad things. So if you don't like any of those things, maybe you should leave and not watch this video, because it's not going to be a happy romp like probably the rest of them are going to be. So yeah, just be aware, it's probably going to be bad shit. And if you don't like that, then you shouldn't watch this. But if you love it, then, fine. Then watch it. Anyway. Yeah, so let's start day 4. It's Sickness. Murder. One of the most horrendous crimes a person can commit. The act of taking another human being's life. The act of robbing a person of their already limited time on this planet. This is a fear-inducing crime which anybody can commit. Every housewife, every student, every police officer is a potential killer. It's a crime that doesn't discriminate by blood or circumstance. It is a crime which can be committed by and make victims of just about anyone. Everybody remains a potential killer and victim, blissfully ignorant of the fact that they could be next, assuring themselves that it can never happen to them. And so, as a result of that naivete, those very people never see it coming. Like this guy, who was killed with that giant cigarette on the ground. Though the scene before me may seem perfect, in this case, as was with so many others, there is no great story behind it. There's no build-up, no resentment between the victim and myself, no mutual hatred that gave us reason to fight. We've been spending years at each other's throats. We'd never fought before, and neither one of us saw this coming. In reality, this is the result of a simple, common scenario. One we've all heard of before. A penny-pinching employer, a bankrupt employee, and a denied paycheck. Truly, there's nothing special about this encounter. My boss didn't taunt me or attempt to exacerbate this situation. He didn't fire me, insult me, or do anything to tempt fate. If anything, I'm the one who made things worse. Rather than try to reason with him, I lashed out, beating the pompous man in front of me into a bloody pulp. I knew it wouldn't accomplish anything. I knew attacking him wouldn't give me the money I needed. And yet, I needed to punish him? That's right. As self-righteous as it sounds, I couldn't let him get away with what he did. The money that greedy bastard owed me, a pittance to him, was everything to me. It would have fed my sister and I, secured our lease for another month, perhaps even granted us a brief respite from the hell we're currently living. The shining beacon in our otherwise miserable lives. A way to ensure our survival during such a trying, stressful time. But because of that narcissist's whim, all hope I had for repairing my broken life vanished. Denied me food, shelter, comfort, and for what? New seats for his car, a fancy watch, a new TV. And so, staring this injustice in the face, hearing firsthand how little my life meant it, I snapped. Of course, as fitting as it may seem to reciprocate his indifference to my life by taking his, doing so was never my intention. True, I wanted to kill him. I wanted to make him suffer for belittling my life, denying me even a moment of peace. But I realized then, as I can clearly see now, that lashing out wouldn't solve anything. So why did I do it? Why would I resort to this? Why would I deliberately choose this no-win situation? If I were to commit a criminal act, why resort to violence rather than theft? If this truly were about my wages, why seek revenge rather than alternative means of compensation? Unfortunately, there's only one answer I can give, in which I am competent. You're losing your mind. It isn't the first explanation that came to mind, but it does make sense. A few hours ago, I had laughed at the cliche of a criminal blaming the voices in their head. Even more so with the notion that a person would act on those silenced words of an unknown entity. However, as evidenced by the corpse at my feet, those words aren't so easy to ignore. I attempted to survive in this two-class society, willfully believing that I was somehow immune to the corruption and classism plaguing this town. There was always a voice whispering to me, telling me not to believe good fortune around me. A voice filled with skepticism and doubts, preempting the inevitable, telling me to take action before it was too late. But you didn't. That was my first mistake. I ignored the benevolent advice offered to me. The predictions now shown to be accurate. The good faith I had received from someone asking me for nothing in return. When it told me to stay in school and live with a guardian. When it told me to seek work elsewhere. When it told me to look for a home somewhere safer. I didn't listen. Every step of the way I fought against the sound, logical advice it offered. If anything, made a point of doing the opposite of what the voice told me to do. Or at least, until you heard what you wanted to hear. And that was my second mistake. It wasn't that I refused to heed the voice's advice. Something that I wasn't interested in taking the safe, responsible route. By the time the violence had become the advised course of action, my path had already been determined. Sickness. Chapter 1. A New Life. Monday evening, September 5th. Less than half an hour ago, in this very room, I committed a serious crime. A very violent crime. Kind of crime which people go to prison without any hope of ever leaving. I lost control of myself, attacked my boss, and without a doubt ended my short time working in this place. I acted on impulse as I stared in the face of injustice that threatened to take away my home, allowing me to do the only thing I could do to avoid feeling powerless. As the adrenaline wore off and the tension cooled, I soon realized my mistake. I saw clearly the fresh corpse at my feet, the stained carpet beneath it, and the bloody hands responsible for everything before me. And so as I stared at my own handiwork, accepted the gravity of the situation before me, and took the immediate step forwards, gaining control once more. You know, when you called me here, I figured you needed my help with something. Not strictly legal, but this? So, my man, you've outdone yourself. You really do have a bright future ahead of you. Unfortunately, given my situation, my options were quite limited. Staring an immediate prison sentence in the face, I called upon Marcus, a coworker of mine. Contrary to his crappy dye job and lean figure, Marcus is a man of many trades, several of which aren't entirely legal. It's more my working here, Marcus has been open about his criminal dealings, more than once hinting that he could help me, or vice versa. Now things have come to this, it's time for him to make good on that promise. Oi, less talking, more lifting. I'll be two out, not take everything myself. It's like Marcus saw our boss in our current state, you understand the situation. Without asking a single question, he promised to help me in my predicament. Thereafter, calling a man who I've never met before. And sure enough, upon seeing our boss's corpse, the stranger smiled to himself and grabbed Mr. Muto's legs, dragging his body in the doorway before requesting assistance. Don't be like that. Surely a big, strong man like you can lift that weedy piece of shit by yourself. And get this poor sep's blood all over me in the process? Either give me a hand or do this yourself. Marcus and his acquaintance carried out my boss's corpse to the stranger's van, which was parked just outside Rudo's office. Thanks to the proximity of my boss's office, no one heard our scuffle over the machinery used within our house. Marcus's acquaintance were able to block visibility and access to the office with this vehicle. Even so, despite knowing how fortunate my circumstances were, I couldn't help but feel anxious. Whether these two successfully cover up Peru's death or not, there's no way these can end up well. All it would take is one witness or slip of a tongue, and I could wind up in prison. Even if I do get away with this, what then? Will I be indebted to Marcus forever? Will we ask for something extreme in return for his silence? No matter what scenario I envision, it doesn't bode well for me. Phew, that bastard's heavier than he looks. Tell me about it. I thought my corpse handling days were long over. Corpse handling days. I guess I'm the right person for the job. But just too easy. Anyway, how to dispose? You two clean up in here, alright? You're the boss, RDD. And Andre, and I don't know how to say that. You the rest of us. After all, that'll give us time to talk about repayment. And there it is. It's not unreasonable for Market to expect something in return. I called upon him, knowing full well that I need to repay the favor. Even so, just think about how do you expect to repay something like this? What do you have in mind, exactly? Nothing big, at least not for someone like you. But really, before we get into that, I gotta tell you, Victor was a fighter from the moment we met. To actually kill somebody, I underestimated you. Marcus sounds like I planned on killing Rue from the start, but I'm no killer. Even if I've been in my share of fights, I've never tried to kill anyone before. That in mind, I had the perfect job for you. I'm sure he does. Given the events leading up to this moment, I have to ask, is it a legal job? Sure, why not? As long as you don't get caught, of course. Figures. Oh, cheer up, I'm just messing with you. I had the perfect job in mind for you. Be able to rake in money, feed that aggression of yours, and pay off your debt almost immediately. Interested? Hang on. You're offering to pay me while I repay you? Of course. Considering the reason why we're here, I thought it would be better not to get between you and your money. Whatever the case, what kind of job are we talking about? Right here to help me get out of trouble. Won't be any point if you just drag me in deeper. You really don't have any faith in me, do you? Well, so be it. Keep in mind that you're worth more to me alive and well than in prison. That is a fair point. Not that you have a choice anyway. All this kept so you're going to do exactly as I say. Richmond. Town riddled with crime and corruption. Richmond is a vast town, a collection of smaller districts, and each varying significantly in terms of wealth, ethnicity, and population density. Yeah. Well, I lost my words ability there. Hold on. Population density. Yeah, that's what that word is. Okay. Large enough to entrap millions of everyday citizens, yet dense enough to suffocate any who dare reside within. It's a complicated town, misunderstood even by those living within its walls. But beyond the size and scope of this town, there's one aspect that stands out above all others. Its concentration of wealth. This is a town where the flock of wealthy flock together, creating their own small utopia? I'm not sure how to say that. They build up selected parts of the city, sculpt the law to their liking, and generally get away with whatever their bank amounts will allow. The result has been the creation of a state-sized town comprised of countless districts, varying from wealthy suburbs filled with hospitals and schools to those lacking even phone lines. Simply put, this is a two-class society, heavily favoring the rich. Someone living in a wealthy suburb working amongst the poor and fairly familiar with both sides of the city. Thanks to those who cling to every cent, they're becoming commissioned for next to nothing, making it a surprisingly cheap place to live. Public transport is constant, resorts are plentiful, and infrastructure is abundant, and the town keeps growing. For those with money to support themselves, it isn't a bad place to live. On the other hand, with so much competition for work, most residents have no choice but to accept whatever work they can and slave away for as little as necessary. Slave wages are standard practice. Workplace safety laws don't apply, and it's every day for themselves. When you're without a white-collar job, this town is hell. The room, mere weeks left in my lives, will be long for my sister and I experienced at hell for ourselves. Of course, looking back over our lives until this point, we can't really complain. For both our parents passed away, Sarah and I lived sheltered, easy lives, never worrying for a second about our housework or finances. We lived good lives in a safe neighborhood, we attended an adequate school, ate healthily, and never far away from medical help. Even now, with all of that being stripped away, we're still better off than most others in our situation. Or at least we would be, if I hadn't just single-handedly destroyed our new lives. No matter what excuse I give, whether I blame my boss's penny pinching or the foreign anger I felt searching through my body, or merely my desperate need for cash, it doesn't change the fact that I killed a man. Even so, I don't feel guilty. I barely even regret the loss of life. If anything, it's the most fun I've had in months. Seeing a moment of pure bliss taking me away from the harsh reality of my new life. Rather, what's eating away at me now is the imminent aftermath. It's myself an act of revenge and self-indulgence. I'll not have explained to my own family why, after mere 2 weeks in this house, we'll be forced to move again. Without a stable source of income, I'm going to live here much longer, and I refuse to allow my sisters subjected to the discrimination and crime that makes the city so unbelievable for the poor. My only chance to recovery rested in the hands of a friend, who essentially blackmailed me into meeting with him tonight. I have no illusions over how this will go. So my choices are to give Sarah a fair warning before our lease expires, or place my faith in a criminal who I've known a mere 2 weeks. Well, can I even call that a choice? As I entered my temporary home, I noticed a pleasant scent coming from the kitchen. Following my nose, I tracked the source to back to the chef of the household, and they ran over to my side. Ah, welcome back. That's about time for you to get home. I'm waiting all afternoon. The only waiting for me is Sarah, my twin sister, the only family I have left. Unlike me, Sarah is still in school. She's getting home a few hours earlier than I have lately. Give her ample time to take care of household chores. Kind, gentle, dependable, and smart. There's the image of an ideal little sister. One without whom I've never made it this far. Not that late, am I? Not at all. In fact, just in time. In time? In time for what? Upon first observation, upon entering the house, I had a good idea what awaited me. However, what's even Sarah standing before me, wearing an apron, something didn't seem right. In a house with few appliances and shelves stocked with cheap instant food, my sister never cooked for me before, but somehow whipped up a proper meal in anticipation of my return. I could ignore the fact that this food smells like real food for once, but where on earth did the ingredients and utensils come from? When Sarah and I began living on our own, we've been eating instant food every day, able to afford anything better. With the petty cash we had left, there's no way Sarah could have bought any of this. In the saucepan, we have white sauce with chunks of sun-dried tomatoes. In the pot, we have fettuccine pasta. I hope you're hungry. Hungry is an understatement, but is there anything more powerful than my stomach? It's my curiosity. Sarah, where did you get the money for all this? Since when you know how to cook? I go out of my way to cook dinner, and this is how you react? Fine then, I guess I eat it all myself. I knew I should have stopped after the first question. Oh well, forget it. I probably just borrowed some things from school if you're one of her friends. Hey, where have you been? Usually you're home an hour ago. Check, that's right. In the situation, I hadn't thought about what time it is. Dismiss her question. I better just play it off. Excuses made up on the spot and make her suspicious. Just at work, much I lost track of time. Anyway, did I miss anything? Ah, now that you mention it, something did arrive for you. Sarah removed her apron, suddenly taking out an envelope from her pocket. Sorry, I know I shouldn't have opened it. She handed me the envelope, which she attempted to reseal after opening it. I peered inside the envelope, and within it I found money. Wait a minute, there's be at least $2,000 in here. I spent a little on utensils and fresh meat and vegetables. Getting instant noodles every day, you know. She explained to me why the envelope was no longer full. But as I vacantly stared at the money in my hand, she needn't bothered. I went to pay her as promised. Should have made far less than $1,000 in total. There'd be double of that left over after Sarah's expenses. Must be Marcus's doing. He knows I need money. Won't be able to pay him back unless I accept this job offer. Furthermore, Marcus sent the money straight to my sister, eliminating the possibility of me refusing and returning the money. But how did you get the money to my sister so early? Do you know ahead of time that Muto would refuse to pay me? This is all just... What are you waiting for? Come on, get it while it's hot. Interrupting my agitated thoughts, Sarah took me with a hand and led me to the living room. Sitting on a table in front of the couch were placemats, paired with sunny cutlery, or goods we didn't own mere hours ago. Further to that, two steaming plates entered my vision moments later as Sarah made another quick stop in the kitchen, bringing with her a heavenly scent. Come on, put down the money and eat. His intruder was by the scene before me. Thought of putting down the cash-filled envelope he had to cross my mind. After all, before I could relax, eat dinner, there was something I still needed to clear up. I will, but before that, how and when did you get this envelope? Didn't your boss tell you? The envelope was mailed here sometime today. Well, yet the envelope was made to be mailed. The envelope with this much money in it? That's just careless. And extremely suspicious. Hadn't really thought about that. I found it slipped under the door before I got home. There isn't much to go on, but it does confirm my earlier suspicion. I figured some hours before I do. This money came from Marcus. No one must have known what would happen ahead of time. Damn it. Feels like being played by that bastard. Enough about that. Sit down and eat already. Better not be stoned because you're afraid to eat my cooking. What? Of course not. But it is true that she never cooked for me before. Oh well, it certainly smells nice enough. Wow, this is actually pretty good. Not because I'm eating instant food for weeks on end, but this tastes like something I'd actually pay for. Just staring at you. Though, it might taste better if a certain someone wasn't analyzing every bite I take. We could tease her, or we could tell her it's good. Oh, that's good. Well, it is what she's waiting to hear. It tastes great. You did really well. Of course I did. Just who do you think you're talking to? On the other hand, I should know better than to stroke her ego by now. Whatever the case. It's really nice to be eating real food again. What are you talking about? Only in a couple of weeks, you know. For you maybe. But I've gone from a month of hospital food straight down the length of instant noodles. Oh, right. I guess it has been a while for you. Much as I try to sympathize with Sarah, my life hasn't been so grand lately either. With some very severe head injury, losing months' worth of memories as a result. I received the grim news that her parents were killed in a car crash. Worse, in the circumstances surrounding the crash were deemed suspicious. I just were frozen, leaving Sarah and I without a dime. Finally, without any close relatives we could rely on, I had little choice but to quit school and find a job, assuming responsibility for Sarah's well-being. But now, after suffering so much hardship in such a short amount of time, being able to indulge in a peaceful home life like this is a dream come true. Either way, you're right. It is nice. Either way, we finally got some piece of our old lives back. I couldn't agree with you more. With that in mind, dear sister, what will be the next step of Tessa Family's restoration project? The what? We're gonna restore our lives to what they were. We need to plan out what we're gonna do. What's next? A car? A bigger TV? A live-in maid? I could let you give a live-in maid, you pervert. But you do have a point. We should have some kind of plan to manage from now on. What do we need to do next? All the things still missing from this house. Facilities work, and we have minor luxuries like a television and refrigerator. But still a far way off from feeling like home. It's not something we need to figure out right now. Just give it some thought. Right. I shouldn't get too excited about spending money we don't even have yet. Besides, we'll be going to bed soon anyway, so... Right, we should get a second bed. Huh? I mean, even if there's one bedroom in this house, there's still room for another bed. That way we wouldn't need to share anymore. I'm sure many people would get the wrong idea if I said I sleep with my sister. There's really nothing dubious at play here. This house only has a single bedroom. Until now we couldn't afford a second bed. Furthermore, when I suggested I take the couch, Sarah insisted that I needed to sleep properly for work. I could tell she didn't want to be left alone in an unfamiliar house. Given the situation, I'd say our decision was correct. That's a waste of money. Is it? But you want a bed of your own again. I mean, surely you're sick of focusing on things we need, not things we want. Besides, it's getting late. Think about it tomorrow. Oh, I guess my idea wasn't as bright as I thought. Maybe Sarah isn't ready to sleep alone yet after all. Regardless, Sarah's right about one thing. We shouldn't get too excited about spending money we don't even have yet. I should have told Sarah where the money came from, and might not any future payments like it. But I let the atmosphere go to my head, afraid to break the mood. The first time since our parents died, Sarah was happy. Tonight pans out. But be satisfied with merely prolonging your happiness, even just temporarily. Taking a shower and storing my earnings, I retreated to the bathroom for a few hours of sleep. The bedroom. Sarah fell asleep by my side, steadily clinging to my torso, greedily stealing my body till I too lost consciousness. Fortunately, as nice as a peaceful, relaxing night in a warm bed sounds, tonight that pleasure will be short-lived. Whatever Marcus has planned, midnight is a deadline to keep me. I don't plan on being late. Midnight meetings and corpse handling aside, the fact of the matter is that Marcus has already compensated me for work not yet done, not to mention the promise of more to come. Whatever reservations I have about this, I can't afford not to go. At the very least, I need to hear him out, see what he has in mind. The job he has lined up for is violent and as well paid as my night so far would suggest. There are worse ways to make a living. Find the clock on the wall facing her bed. I snug away from my sister's side, careful not to wake her. Chloe moved her arms from around me, placing my body with the pillow I've been using just moments prior. Tipped her out of our bedroom and into the living room, not making a sound the entire trip. Shame to leave her side like this, but tonight, somewhere else I need to be. Following the unfamiliar route detailed to me earlier in the day. Made my way to part of a town I never thought I need to visit. In the many districts of Richmond, this is one of the poorest and definitely not a good place to be at this time of night. There's no police presence to speak of. Most of the stores are closed or abandoned. There's obviously zero maintenance being done. As Marcus told him we would be beating, I knew the job he had lined up for me couldn't be legal. Just what am I getting myself into here? Geez, you took long enough. Then again, you chickened out. When Barkin and I met face to face, he opened with his usual level of compassion. Chickened out of what? I don't even know why I'm here. Maybe it's one of the few places in town where someone like you can actually make money. You know that isn't what I meant. I'm in a shady neighborhood in the middle of the night, prepared to make money from legally questionable work, and you're still only to tell me the bare minimum. You can't get me in a dark river, Marcus. I guess you're right. But really, relax already. It's not his work, I assure you. In this part of town, it's late at night? I doubt it. Alright, so now what? Follow me, you understand soon enough. Marcus turned around and walked through the side entrance of the building adjoining the car park. He removed the keyring from his pocket and unlocked the steel-framed door, running back for a moment to smirk, as if though daring me to follow. And so I did. Following right behind Marcus, I entered the dreary building, immediately confronted by a dusty staircase within. The path before us was dark, dirty, and every bit as eerie as one would think a midnight stroll in an unsavory neighborhood might be. I hit the wrong button. Oops. Ring? What? What are we doing here? What awaited us at the bottom of the staircase was an arena. The center was a boxing ring. Beyond that were grandstands akin to what I'd usually see in football stadiums. But the massive size of the venue before us, there were only a few people present, all milling in the top of the grandstands. The lights remained dim, and for all intents and purposes, Marcus were essentially alone. What do you think? Pretty impressive, huh? That's one word for it. What the hell is an arena like this doing down here? I believe the word you're looking for is stadium or ring. Anyway, where else would it be? If it's like this going to take place out in the open, you know? I'm not even here in Richmond. Events like these, just a boxing ring, right? In a way. Interested in boxing? I'm not a fan of watching sport, come to think of it. But a little longer, another 5 minutes is basically open to the public. And you can tell me if you're interested in batching skulls for a living. Marcus and I hung around the bottom of the dark stairwell. Entrance apparently reserved for staff. Spectators began to storm in from the grandstands. Hundreds, if not thousands of spectators flooded the grandstands, soon filling the arena which only be empty in the minutes ago. Grandstands were filled, the arena gained fighters, and best of all, the betting began. Holy crap, look at all that money. How much are those people betting? Despite being so far away from me, actually, you clearly see large stacks of money changing hands. Spectators practically threw money at staff taking bets. We're all more excited as fighters for the first match began warming up. I think you should jump straight to that. Yes, there is that side of business. And yes, a man can make himself a small fortune down there. But competing is where the real money is. Not any rules against betting on yourself either. Let me ask you again, are you interested? Interested in that kind of money? Absolutely. As far as competing goes, why not? I killed my boss today. Why not? Let's do it. I guess that's the point. I'm gonna fight professionally. I proceeded to bet myself. I can make a lot of money. That's giving me an outlet. So I'm gonna get my frustration rather than not inspecting victims of murder. But that's the best case scenario. This I even let a hit at my opponent, let alone prove efficient enough to profit from my career in boxing. I could end up broken and broke, worse off than ever. Maybe, but I'd rather find a more stable source of income. Your loss. That's how you feel. Just you set your sides on the man above the grandstand to your left. But our poor vantage point, I did as Marcus suggested and headed toward the grandstand and left the boxing ring. Above the grandstand was a glass panel, a viewing booth, a single shadow being cast on the thing. Behind that bulletproof glass is the owner of this fine establishment, Mr. Carson. Preston, and you make a comfortable living without ever setting foot inside the room. That is worth money. Most of this was rake it in. Be foolish not to try and get in something like this. Make a living. How? What kind of business is it around here? Forget I said anything. Make a silly bet between friends, okay? Who do you think you win this next match? Macho Man or the little Jap? Both fighters reach the next class instead. I clearly heard Marcus is preferring to. Taurus for 2 men in the 30s, and on blue trunks on the right. And blue with a Caucasian male. The organization appears to be at least 6 foot tall, filled with the masses and matches and impressive stature. But seen a head shorter, Japanese man who's slender. Or a martial artist of some variety. Sure, they're both professionals. Their Massachusetts respected. I think they're the Japanese man, to be honest. Yeah. I don't make a bet like this, because it can't hurt if there are any mistakes. Alright, then I guess Much Man is mine. But our bets in place, even when I've said a word, is ready for the next reading. If you wanted to talk, there's enough concentration observed just a distance, let alone speak. Not for this simple difference in stature, I don't think I'd be able to tell the fighters apart. I'd picked wrong. Yeah. Once the bell rang, the outcome had already been decided. Split second, the massive Caucasian strips his opponent leg, sending him to the floor. He threw his that Japanese armed man, pushing him against his elbow as his blood hit his skin. Fraser cried out in pain as his arm bit back at the elbow. His wounds were powered by the crown, which shouted for blood, spraying on his giant lead into the face. Andrew paid no heed to his opponent, pleased for mercy. Even the Japanese man cried out in pain, performing without hesitation. The giant continued invaded, playing his part in that even hint of sympathy. Quite overwhelming how one-sided the fight proved to be. I thought it couldn't reach you. Seemingly more interested in seeing blood than a match. And so in response to the lust for violence, Caucasian man happily carried out his job. The sound of the Japanese man's arm being snapped in two was silenced by the crowd. Most of whom went quiet as its echo reached their ears. Medical staff rushed into the ring, carrying the fallen fighter out post-haste. Gamblers lined up to collect their payouts, leaving the remainder of those present in shock and awe. Not all agents practice martial arts, you know. You learn to analyze your opponents a little better if you want to become a professional fighter. I just tried to speak into whatever you had to say. I wasn't interested. Even after the match ended, my mind was in the ring, playing the scene that had just transpired mere moments ago. I fear the blood drained from my face even for the safest moment, at which point there wasn't a single hair in my body not standing on end. Marks dragged me here with the promises of money, making it sound like my worries were over. A legal job, when I could act violently and make money from doing so. Boxing fit that description, but for a moment there, even to myself wearing boxing gloves and trunks, duking out with some other money-hungry athlete. But what I just saw, whatever it was, that's not happening. Marcus can't possibly expect me to get in a ring like that, getting my legs broken just for his statistics boss amusement. I may be desperate, but most of my money is worth that. There were lots of spectators and staff members that left the stadium. Only two figures lingered in the underground layer. Illuminated the glass, watching over the match from afar, Dew began to wind down. The night's festivities came to a close. Whew, what a night. I can't remember the last time I watched a fight live. But always this gruesome. Pairings are usually more balanced. No profit in matches, obvious outcomes after all. Usually, as in not tonight. You have to ask really your questions that we skew the pairings so that different weight classes would fight one another. That didn't sound like me. You didn't put it quite like that. You wanted someone lean, fast and strong so I could punch above their weight class. Ah, right. This is like some vision. A little counterproductive. Why are you asking me? Here's your idea. Oh, I see. We'll scratch that. That'd be at least costly method, right? Yes, sir. Start putting where they were recruiting, and keep your criteria in mind. No, you can't pin this one on me. Your criteria, Sahi. I wouldn't have a clue what to look for. Very well. Pass along my criteria and expand the recruitment drive to include younger fighters. Maybe it might take a while. Finding someone capable is one half the battle. The real challenge is finding one who's not emotionally and mentally stable, but also desperate for money. Ruthless enough to kill for it. That's me. That fits my description perfectly. Chapter 2. Sadist. The next day. Oh, that's interesting. However, I think I'm done for the time being. So yeah, this was Sickness. I'm not very far into it, but it's interesting, and it almost wants me to continue playing it. Even though it obvious is very sinister and dark and shit. But it's kind of interesting in a way to me. But anyway, this was day 4. I'll see you back tomorrow for day 5. So until then.